The hallway echoed with the sound of laughter and sneakers skidding across the polished school floor. It was lunchtime at Franklin High, and most students rushed toward the cafeteria, their chatter bouncing off the lockers. But not everyone was. In a hurry to eat at the far end of the hallway, near the janitor's closet, a group of boys had surrounded someone. They weren't loud. In fact, their voices were calm, which made it worse. That kind of quiet always meant trouble. The girl at the center of their circle stood still, holding her backpack straps tightly. Her name was Maya, a quiet black girl, with thick braids, old sneakers, and a silence that always seemed too heavy for her age. She had transferred to Franklin just a few weeks ago. No one really knew where from. She didn't speak much, didn't laugh loudly, didn't argue and that made her a target. Especially for Connor, the biggest boy on the basketball team. The one who thought fear was the same thing as respect. Connor stepped forward, smiling like it was just a joke. "Hey, you hear me, girl?" he said, his voice low. "I asked if that's your grandma's coat, or did you steal it off a hobo?" The boys behind him snickered. Maya didn't respond. She didn't even flinch. Her eyes stared straight ahead, like she wasn't even there. Connor didn't like being ignored. In one sharp motion, he reached forward and grabbed Maya by the collar of her jacket, yanking her slightly toward him. "Yo, I'm talking to you," he hissed. "You think you're too good to speak?" That's when something shifted. Maya didn't yell, didn't gasp, didn't pull back. She just looked at him. For the first time, really looked at him. Eyes dark, unblinking. Still not angry. Still not scared. Just calculating. The hallway suddenly felt colder. Even Connor felt it. His grip loosened slightly. Unsure now. One of the boys behind him cleared his throat nervously. Then Maya spoke. Her voice wasn't loud, but every word cut like glass. "Let go." Connor scoffed, tightening his grip again out of ego. "Or what?" Maya's eyes didn't move. "Or you're going to remember this day for the rest of your life." That made Connor laugh, loud and sharp. But that laugh had a hint of confusion now. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. "You threatening me now, color girl?" Another boy muttered, "Bro, just let her go, man." "No," Connor snapped. "She needs to learn not to act like she owns the place." Then Maya did something no one expected. She reached up slowly and gently placed her hand on his wrist, not to hit, not to scratch. Just held it and whispered something. Only Connor could hear it. But whatever she said made his eyes widen. Just for a second. Then, like he'd been stung, he yanked his hand back, almost stumbling. His friends looked at each other. "Yo, what did she say?" Connor didn't answer. His face was pale now. Maya calmly adjusted her collar, zipped her jacket back up, and stepped past him without saying another word. But in that brief second, something passed between them. Connor didn't say another word that day. Not to Maya, not to anyone. And Maya? She kept walking, her steps silent. But her eyes, they carried a fire no one had noticed before. The next day, whispers filled the halls like static in the air. She didn't even flinch. Connor backed off, like he was scared. What did she say to him? No one had answers. But everyone had theories. Connor avoided them all. His usual swagger was gone. He walked with his shoulders tight, his eyes avoiding Maya whenever she passed. And Maya? She walked like nothing happened. No smile, no smugness. Just that same stillness. Like a storm that hadn't passed yet. Just paused. In gym class, the rumors only got louder. One girl whispered, "I heard she's like military or something. Like her dad trains assassins." Another said, "No, bro, she used to live overseas, in some dangerous country. They teach you how to fight just to survive there." The coach blew his whistle. 2-on-2 drills. Maya, you're with Amber. Connor, you're up next. Connor flinched. Coach, my ankle. You look fine to me. Amber gave Maya a nervous glance. You good? Maya nodded, tying her hair back slowly. The drill started basketball defense. Maya was quick, but it wasn't just speed, it was control. She moved like she was reading her opponent's mind. She didn't try to impress anyone, but the way she pivoted, blocked, calculated, it was like she'd done this 1,000 times before. But not on a court. Connor stood at the edge, watching, his knuckles tight, his lips pressed together. He knew what he heard yesterday, what she whispered in his ear. I know exactly how long it takes to break your wrist, and I know how to do it without leaving a mark. She didn't scream it, didn't threaten loudly, just calmly explained like she was reading off a manual, and the way she held his wrist. She wasn't guessing. She knew. That's what shook him. After gym, Connor waited outside the locker room. He wasn't sure why. Maybe he thought he'd get his power back by confronting her again. Or maybe he just needed to prove to himself he wasn't scared. But when Maya walked out, she didn't even blink. She walked past him like he didn't exist. He turned. Hey, what's your deal? Maya stopped, but didn't turn. I'm not your problem, she said calmly. You made me your problem. Connor scoffed. You think you scared me yesterday? Maya finally turned. I didn't need to scare you. You scared yourself. Then she walked off. Behind him, one of the teachers stepped out and gave Connor a long look. He straightened quickly. That night, Connor did something he hadn't done in years. He Googled someone. He typed Maya_Franklin High. Nothing much, until he added the word incident. And then he saw it, a news headline, 6 months old. 12-year-old girl fends off 2 grown men in gas station assault. Authorities say her training saved her life. His mouth dried. He clicked the article. There was a grainy photo. It was her. She had stopped at kidnapping. Alone. She hadn't just survived it. She fought back so fiercely that the 2 grown attackers were hospitalized. The article mentioned her mother, former defense instructor, retired special ops trainer. Connor leaned back slowly. Heart pounding. This girl, Maya, wasn't just quiet. She was trained, prepared, and dangerous, and she had warned him. By Friday, the whole school had heard about Maya, but they hadn't seen what she could really do. Connor couldn't take it anymore. Every hallway glance, every half-whispered joke, every time someone looked at him, not with fear like before, but with pity. He'd ruled this school for 2 years. He wasn't about to let some quiet girl ruin that. At lunch, he sat with his usual crew, but his eyes were on Maya, who sat alone, calmly eating like she didn't feel every set of eyes on her. You want to end this? Connor muttered. His friend Jackson looked nervous. Bro, just leave it. She's not normal. You saw that article. She's like, legit trained. Connor clenched his jaw. I'm not gonna hit her, man. Just humble her, publicly, in front of everyone. That's when his plan formed. After lunch, he slipped away, headed to the AV room. He found the hallway security footage from 3 days ago. The moment he grabbed her collar, he clipped it, cropped it so it looked like she started it, like she was threatening him, then added subtitles, twisted the audio a bit, enough to make it look like she was the aggressor. Then he uploaded it, not publicly, just to a few students. The right ones. Within 30 minutes, it had spread like wildfire on every school group chat. Did you see the video? Dang, Maya actually threatened him first? So maybe Connor didn't start it. It worked. Almost. Because just before 6th period, something strange happened. The school loudspeakers. crackled on. Then the principal's voice came through, but not his usual bored tone. This was sharp, controlled. All students. Attention. Please. If you've seen a video circulating this afternoon involving 2 students in a hallway, you are advised to delete it immediately. It is digitally altered and under investigation. We do not tolerate manipulated content or targeted harassment on school grounds. Connor's heart stopped. What? How did they find out so fast? He rushed to the hallway and stopped cold. Maya was standing with the school resource officer and the principal. She wasn't crying. She wasn't angry. She was calm, the way someone calm before a storm. The principal looked directly at Connor as he approached. Connor, come with us. The entire hallway went dead silent. He was walked down the hall, not cuffed, not restrained, but everyone watching knew something serious had happened. And as he passed Maya, she didn't gloat, didn't smirk. She just said, softly, without even turning her head, I warned you twice. You chose not to listen. Back in the office, Connor sat stiff in the chair. The principal paced slowly, holding a tablet. On it was the original hallway footage. The full version, crystal. Clear. No edits, no tricks. He was the one who grabbed her. He was the one who mocked her. She had done nothing, just spoken. Connor, the principal said slowly, do you have any idea what kind of danger you're in? Connor blinked. What? Maya's mother called us? She has legal counsel watching everything now. And she has contacts in places that go well beyond school boards. Connor's chest tightened. It was a joke. No, son. What you did was called digital defamation, and depending on how far this goes, it could ruin your future. One of your college recommendations is already being pulled. Connor's head dropped. He hadn't just lost control. He'd set his own. Reputation on fire. Back in the hallway, students gathered around Maya, now no longer whispering, but staring. She didn't say a word, but for the first time, someone from the crowd walked up and sat beside her. Then another. And another. One by one, kids started showing respect, not out of fear, out of respect for how she handled everything. No violence, no yelling. Just calm, focused justice. And for the first time, Maya smiled. Just a little. Monday morning felt different. The school wasn't loud like usual. There were no jokes in the hallways. No sports talk. Just tension. Heavy, sticky, everywhere. Connor wasn't in his usual seat. Rumors said his parents pulled him out of school. Others said he was suspended. But nothing was confirmed. Maya walked in with her hoodie up. Not scared, just quiet, like always. But this time, when she walked through the hallway, no one bumped into her. No one laughed behind her back. Some looked away. Others nodded silently. She didn't respond. She wasn't there for attention. But the looks meant one thing. They were waiting to see what would happen next. Third period. The intercom buzzed again. Maya Daniels, please report to the main office. A low wave of murmurs passed through the room. She stood up slowly, zipped her jacket, and left without a word. Down the hall, the tension grew heavier with every step. When she entered the office, the school board investigator was already seated. A woman in a gray suit, glasses sharp as her tone. The principal nodded toward her. Maya, this is Miss Lowell from the district office. Maya sat across from her, eyes steady. Miss Lowell didn't smile. I'm here to assess the situation. She began. We have 2 versions of events. One from video footage and one from a group of parents who claim you're a threat. Maya didn't blink. I didn't touch him. We saw the video. We also saw the one he edited. Both are evidence. But the board doesn't care for viral drama, Miss Daniels. They care about liability. That word sat heavy in the room. Liability. That wasn't about truth. That was about who's easier to blame. Maya remained silent. Ms. Lola leaned forward. I've spoken to your mother. She was firm. She says if you're punished, there will be legal action. The principal shifted awkwardly. And your mother has a record, Lowell added. Not criminal. Military. That complicates things. This isn't a war zone, Maya. This is a school. Maya finally spoke. I didn't bring war here. Someone else brought the fight to me. There was a long pause. Missy. Lowell scribbled something in her notebook. The board will decide in 48 hours, she said coldly. In the meantime, you're on administrative leave. That means you don't attend classes. You'll be escorted out today. The principal's jaw tensed, but he didn't object. Maya stood. Not angry. Not broken. Just. Quietly burning inside. As she stepped out into the hallway. Everyone saw it. Maya walking with the school resource officer beside her. A backpack slung over her shoulder, face unreadable. Whispers began instantly. Wait, she's suspended? For what? She didn't even do anything. Amber, the girl from gym class, stood from her seat. This is messed up. A boy muttered. Connor's parents must have pressured the board. And someone else whispered, Nah, this ain't over. You don't mess with a girl like that. And walk away. By the time Maya reached the front doors, dozens of students were watching. And though she didn't turn around. She knew now she wasn't alone anymore. 2 days passed. 2 long, silent days. Maya stayed home, not because she was scared, but because she was waiting. She knew her mother had activated something far bigger than the school board. And at school, things were boiling. Students were furious. A petition had started on social media. #JusticeForMaya. It spread fast. Over 800 signatures in a single night. Even parents were asking questions. Why was the girl who didn't fight suspended? Why was the bully silent, hiding, protected? On the 3rd morning, Maya got the call. Bring your daughter. The board wants a meeting. In person. Final decision. Maya's mom was already dressed in a sharp black blazer. Not loud, not flashy. Just quiet power. As they walked into the boardroom. Maya saw them all. 5 adults behind a polished table. Connor on the other side, with his father, a rich-looking man with slick hair and a jaw locked in entitlement. Connor wouldn't even look at her. The board chair cleared his throat, reviewed all footage, heard testimonies, and spoken. To both families, it's been a complicated situation. Then he looked at Maya Daniels. After review, we've determined that you were not the aggressor. Your suspension has been lifted. Maya stayed still. No reaction. Connor's father interrupted. Excuse me, what about the threats? The danger she poses? Maya's mom calmly stood. I believe that's where our next step begins. She opened a small folder and placed a paper on the board's table. Official filing. Defamation. Harassment. Digital manipulation of evidence. We're moving forward legally. The board members looked shocked. Connor's face turned pale. His father leaned in to argue, but one board member cut him off. Sir, if what she's filed is valid, and it appears it is, your son may be facing criminal consequences. Connor's voice cracked. I didn't mean, but Maya stood. Her voice was clear, strong. I told you once, I'm not your problem. You made me your problem. And now, I've made sure you'll remember. That. Silence. The board chair finally nodded. You're free to return, Maya, and we'll be reviewing our policies on digital bullying, effective immediately. When Maya walked out that day, students were waiting outside the building. They didn't cheer. They didn't chant. They stood, quietly, respectfully, and as she passed, one by one, they nodded, not out of fear, but in honor. She hadn't fought back with fists. She'd use truth, calm, strength, and that kind of power. It was unforgettable.